Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog, the Open Championship, DraftKings picks, the weather, the tee times, the final bets. Additionally, I will be going live once again later on Wednesday morning. In Tambo, I might even be going at around like 5 o'clock in the morning on Thursday for an early morning sleepy time watch along for the Open Championship. If people are going to be up for this, and I'm going to be up, so I might as well do something.
It makes perfect sense knowing you. And it doesn't shock me at all. I think it'd be interesting. You've never done that before, have you? This will be the first time for that one?
Yeah, I think Blickel's going to join me. He said he'd be up. So we'll just, if people are up and they want to watch, let me know in the comment section. If you let me know in the comment section whether or not you would be up for something like that, you get into a draw for a free PXG driver given away on Monday. Additionally, give me your favorite play below, what do we want to say, 7,000, 6,500, Tambo?
To do under 7,000. I'm curious who people bring up because the 6K range is loaded. It's whether, I don't know if you want to throw it out there, the 5K range, if people are even playing anyone from down there, it's interesting this week because not many are, even with 14.2K Scotty. So that one works too.
Well, let's do that. Favorite play in the 5K range for the Open Championship. Not the Barracuda, for the Open Championship. I don't think there is a 5K range. I don't even know if there's DraftKings pricing for the Barracuda. That's how uninterested I am. Well, actually, that's not completely true, that I'm not completely uninterested in it, because there is the one story that everyone's talking about from the Barracuda. So maybe it worked exactly what they wanted to do. But just a quick overview on what we're seeing this week, and we'll get to the weather splits in a second. I wouldn't trust the weather splits. We were just speaking about it before the show. I have an angle that I might want to take, but I don't think it's as pronounced as people are talking about.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting setup when we talk DraftKings later for sure. And we can use it and apply it to everything. But the main thing I was saying for DraftKings 2 pre-show was that people already like all the guys in the AM/PM wave. Like they already pop for projections. So I think that's one of the things we've noticed over the years, Pat. If you remember back to our famous players year where it flipped, and that was a different thing. That was a delay. I get it, but it did flip on us. But the one thing I'll remember and take away was I think it was only 6 or 7% of the entire field did a 6-0 stack. We have now seen, because I think it was this year that Sky posted it out for us all, it was like 26% of the field went with a full stack in one of the events that we were watching this year and talking about. So I think that could be an instance here where a lot of people just lean the AM/PM already. They use this weather talk and fire it, and then the projections and their picks already like it. So why not just go all the way or majority 5-1, 6-0 AM/PM? So I think that's going to be a thing.
Well, let's get the weather out of the way first. So AM/PM is looking like the preferred wave right now. However, if you use the Portrush Wind Finder, Tide is the back end of that, if you're really looking for the one right next to the course. Yes, the guy's out very early on Thursday. Basically the first, let's call it 5, 6, 7 groups, because there are no split tees at the Open. Everyone goes off of the first tee. So it's a bit different in terms of stacking strategy. You kind of want to take chunks of the tee time and group those guys together, weirdly enough, because everyone as a part of the AM tee time guys might be done before some of the guys at the back end of the AM tee time actually get off the tee. So when the guys are out at 6 a.m., 6:15 a.m., I think Patty's out in the first group, so is McKibben. It's not going to be easy. There's still like a gust up to 18 miles per hour. Then it gets a bit rainy, gusts up to 30. But then later on in the afternoon on Thursday, which we're seeing right now, and maybe this ends up flipping by the time we get 12 hours from now. So I'm doing another show tonight. All of the newsletter tonight, sub to that free right now down in the description. Around 3 p.m., it kind of gets a little bit better again. There's still gusts up to 20, but the rain will be over. The course will be a bit softer, and there's just less wind and fewer gusts than there was midday for that like 5-hour stretch when those guys kind of get annihilated, which might open it up for some scoring later on in the day as well. So you have like the Rory tee time out there. Minwoo is out there. And I don't think that people are seeing that right now. And I think that could be a nice little wedge into this. Like I have the only first round leader bet that I have right now. And I want to hear, that's another one. You put your first round leader bet down in the description. I'll finalize those on the live stream later on tonight when I'm taking your questions as well, because I'm sort of at a loss what to do for first round leader right now. But I did take one guy from that later wave because I do think that the conditions will be a little bit better scoring. And when the gusts are up for when Rory and those guys hit the course, they get to play the first 5 holes. And when there's a lot of wind, the wind is with you, including a par 5 on those holes. And then it kind of dies down as they come back towards the clubhouse. and there won't be as much wind as the guys midday are going to get. So I think that's an interesting angle to take. Whether it's right or not, I have no idea. I think the best part about the AM PM wave that people are really looking at is Friday, where there's gusts of like basically up to 20 in the morning, and then you get to midday and it's down to 12, 10, like it's half the wind. That would be the part I'd be more interested in. But there's also rain later on Friday that maybe we're just completely overthinking this.
Yeah, the Friday thing is more interesting because the rain thing could come into play, but I think it's also that it's funny that, to me, it's like the Thursday stuff is where I see it more because you've got the, 21 consistent gusts and you're holding around 15 miles per hour. The stuff people are talking about on Friday is stuff we deal with all the time. Like golfers don't give a shit up 17, 18 mile per hour gusts, pretty consistent, 10 to 12. It's just standard things. And especially for over there. So I don't know. We'll see. It could all be blown out of proportion, if you will, with the pun there, Pat. But I think it's going to be really interesting when it comes to DraftKings because, like I said, just it really leads when you have to pick 6 golfers. When we're betting, when we're putting together underdog cards, things like that, we can pick and choose our angles. But I think for DraftKings, you just see a lot of people feel very safe and comfortable. This is not an event I would want to do that at. So I actually loaded more contests last night to play this week, and it's not because it's a major. I don't get any special trophy. There is a bigger prize with the Millie Makers and whatnot, but I want to play more when there's uncertainty like this, when people think they have it figured out. I want to play more on a week like this for sure.
I would tend to agree with you, and I do think that stacking the uncomfortable side, you should just do it anyway.
Or playing straight up. I think people are just missing the boat. Like the boat here is that you can. First of all, we'll talk about this. It's a totally different course than the Scottish Open. Like somehow people have correlated these that they're the same thing. They're not. And then the second part is you can play it straight up. You just gave a great example, and I'm just spitballing off what you said, and I like it, is like imagine if you went with some of these really early guys mixed with like a Rory late, and Rory gets it done, and then, oh my gosh, Rory comes through in 2 hours of 17 to 18 mile per hour gusts. How did he do that? Like it's insane. We saw Justin Thomas. What was it? Was it the PGA Championship the year he won? On the horrendous side, I think it was like a stroke and a half or something one way, and he still came through and then ended up winning the tournament. So things happen, man. People can find their way through. They're the best players in the world. I think it's going to be a good opportunity this week for sure.
And we're in Ireland on the ocean. If the forecast doesn't hold, I'm not going to be super fucking stunned.
Yeah, imagine that, right? Exactly. I'm with you.
So I do think because if people are going to load up on the AM PM, I'm not saying that I'm going to play 80% PM AM
right,
or at least those like blocks, but I will dedicate a few lineups to that just to not only be different, but potentially take. I think it's important to do wave stacks at the Open because we have seen over and over that although it's not predictable what wave it is, that there generally does become a block of players that just seemingly play a different course than everyone else.
Yeah, the Phil Stenson year, that was pretty interesting. I think you needed like literally a 3-hour window or something. If you were inside of that with all your player pool, you crushed.
You did. And I don't think it'll ever be that pronounced again. Maybe it will. But again, that wasn't necessarily predictable at that time too. But every year we do see, it's not necessarily that pockets that have a huge advantage. It's that there are certain pockets of like 2-hour windows of tee times that just draw the shit end of the stick and they get wiped out.
Yep. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it goes. That's golf and everybody knows it. It's the way it sets up. So yeah, I like your call, and it's definitely the best spot to stack waves regardless of weather because weather can affect it. We've already seen it. That's what the majority of the talk is. But like I've always said and talked about a ton, especially in DFS, and you can apply it to everything, is that the waves can just naturally get you different. It matters more in DFS where the game is in play and the ownership and all of that. But I think it's definitely important to keep in mind for the Open each year.
So you have a 0.2% chance of becoming a millionaire this week?
Wait, Pat, think about my skill level, man.
I'm just saying, just actually, sorry, you have a 0.26 chance, independent of skill, of winning $1 million this year in the Mega.
Yeah, the Mega, baby. Let's go. That was of course what was going to happen. Round 1 of the Fantasy Golf World Championship did not get through, but got tickets to the Mega and some other stuff. And then last week when I would have been in round 2, a crush at the Scottish Open. So it's just the way it always goes, but nobody cares work harder. And that's why we're here. And this is a great tournament. Like I said, I really like what we have ahead of us. Definitely interested in breaking this all down and going through it.
David Duncan asked about the Fantasy National app. Is it broken? It's not, bro. I mean, it got broken towards the end of the Scottish with the European API feeds, but we didn't have it for the Open anyway. You're going to have to use the Open app. Everyone's going to have to use it this week because they have their own proprietary feed, and that will be the fastest one that you want to use. The Fantasy National app will be back for the 3M Open, in case you were wondering. I got some big news about Fantasy National that might hit by the end of today, maybe early next week, but great news for anyone who is a member at Fantasy National. I'll just put it that way. Good things on the horizon, and it's going to be pretty cool. Anyway, so that's the
big announcement you still won't tell me about.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you after the show because I've signed now, but I'm waiting for it to be made public.
I will say that's a perfect segue. Is we got Mayo Schefter on the show today. The breaking news out there, just getting all the love and the helping hand there with the Wyndham Clark news. Congrats, breaking that down was big.
Yeah, never have broken a story before, solid. But I felt like I should probably treat it like a journalist. I had someone reach out to me with like the information about Wyndham Clark getting banned from Oakmont, and here are the things. I was like, I can just report this right now. It's like I should probably. I mean, anyone could have sent me this. You know what I mean? It's not like I know the person who's sending it to me. So I reached out to people that I trust who might be on the inside of that particular club. I was like, "Is this true?" They're like, "Yeah, it's true." I was like, "Okay, let's go." I had to. I do remember journalism and broadcasting school. It may have been a long time ago, a little while, but I did want to double source that out before just randomly reporting it.
Very smart, and it's good. Everyone always makes fun of like sources and stuff like that, but I like Feinberg's comment. Mayo scoops. That's a good one, busting it down. And what? There was another one the other day. Shout out to, I got to give this guy credit. The guy literally goes to every course, does all stuff. Matt Gannon.
Yeah, Matt.
This guy just crushes it. The Gannon bomb. When he dropped it the other day, what one did he put something out there? I forget what it was. Oh, it was the Gino and the Damon caddy split. So all the fellas inside the golf world are dropping the news and love to see it. That's awesome.
Yeah, boots on the ground, or just people want to help me out. I appreciate. Listen, if you got inside information, hit me up to DM me on X. Yeah, I'll take a look into it, see if I can get it out there. The craziest thing is like so many people have picked it up now.
Yeah,
from like these larger sources than me, and I get tagged in it, which I very much appreciate, getting accreditation for it. But the responses, oh my God, how do these people like live their day-to-day lives? They seem like the only thing that they are capable of doing is slamming their head against a rock wall. And that's it. I don't know how they function in day-to-day life.
What's the most prevalent comment of like stupidity wise? Like what's the worst one that you keep getting?
It's not. It's just the tone of the responses. It's just so weird.
I just thought people were talking about like, will Wyndham Clark even be there in 2033? Like this is the thing.
I believe that he is, because I think he won in 2023. So I think the last year of his exemption for winning the U.S. Open would be that year.
Yeah, better get his shit together, man. He's got to figure it out.
I think it's good for the PGA Tour that there's a player like this. I mean, one more incident, and he's got to have a lifetime contract from Liv.
Yeah. Do you think he would take it right now?
Probably, yeah. They're like, hey, here's $1 billion. Like, you're the most hated man in golf right now. Come to the Liv Tour. But
come on over.
The PGA is missing villains. This is a villain. This is good.
Yeah, Phil's trying to come back. Phil Mickelson, the villain, he's coming back saying that there's going to be a hypothetical tour that's going to get blended. It sounds like the Asian tour. He wants to try and blend that, and then the live events will be the signature events for them. But he could be in the mix later when we talk Pat. He's $5,800 on the slate.
I'd rather go with Patty, I think.
Yeah, I definitely would. Yeah, if you're comparing the two of them, for sure.
Yeah, if you're just going to take an old dude who's super cheap, that's the route that I would end up going. But I got my bets. And I'm still going to add to this. So the final ones will be on the stream later on tonight. I'll schedule that on YouTube. Turn on your notifications, by the way. That would really help. Sub to Mayo Media Network. That would help. And again, down in the comment section, give me a first round leader. Give me your favorite 5K guy on DraftKings. Then you get into the draw for the free driver. You can do the same thing on the audio feeds as well. Apple and Spotify, Pat Mayo Experience. Subscribe, leave that 5-star rating, and then put your answer down there as well. Get you more ballots into that draw. And when I release the newsletter on X, if you retweet that around, boom, that gives you a ballot into the draw too. So many ways to get into that driver. But here are my bets. I got Henley at 65 to 1. I actually picked up a piece of 75 once I saw that. I don't know why I do this to myself. I made the big bet at 65. It's like, it's not getting better than this. And I think he's the most bet on guy this week anyway. Then I saw a 75 come out. It's like, well, got to throw a few more bucks on that. I mean, it's a better number. I got to do that. So I did that too. So if Henley wins, I'm good. Ryan Fox, 80-1 with 5 places. Hideki, 85-1. I have the future on Seb Straka at 100-1. If you go to Cool Bet right now, and the link is down in the description. I think Jared's going to throw up the QR code on the screen as well. If you just scan the QR, you'll get taken to my page where there's 2 sets of boosts up there. You can get Seb Straka boosted back up to 65-1 if you like. And I have a special 3-leg parlay that's up there as well that I can't even remember what it is now. It's someone top 40, someone to make, it's Wrighton to make the cut. I think it's Chris Kirk top 40 and Henley top 20 or something like that. It pays like 14-1 and it's boosted up to 16.5, something like that. So go to CoolBet, figure that out. And if you opt into on that page, there's a Cabot giveaway as well that if you opt into it and then make golf bets, you'll be in the draw to win an all expenses paid trip to Cabot in September as well if you want to go do that. So those are the 4 that I have right now. I mean, there's no one less than 65-1. I got room. I got 4 bombs for you. All of them with 8 places. They're more of a top 8 bet than anything else. But if they win, that would be glorious. Nick Taylor, 140-1. Chris Kirk, 300-1. Glover, 300-1. And Christopher Wrighton. Everyone's going with Marco Penge. I'm going back to Wrighton. He sounds like he's right to win this championship, 350-1 with those 8 places. Those are the 8 that I have in. I made some Barracuda bets, but I bet on Grant Horvat, and he's not playing anymore.
Yeah, I saw that one too. You didn't have the news to break on that one. He broke it himself, but it's a good back and forth between him. And then Wesley Bryan hopped into the mix as well too. So
trying to prod Kirshner. Kirshner's taking all the heat. Do you have an opinion on this? Because I really don't. Like, I don't see. Listen, I get there's the mentality of Horvat not playing because he wanted to be able to film all the round and do his content. And I can understand because of PGA media rights why they wouldn't allow him to do that. But I think it's a lose-lose on both sides because it makes Horvat seem like he sucks, honestly. Like, he can't play. But I think if you're the PGA Tour, you should let him fucking film. Like, this is why he's there.
You said it. It's the latter. Don't give a shit. He's not good at golf. No, everybody knows he doesn't have to.
Well, he's good at golf, but he's not a PGA Tour player.
Sorry, yeah. I'm not comparing him to me, guys. I'm talking about he's gonna go out there. I think Blickel was the one who said it. I watched a post on there. Shout out to Alex, and he said, "Dude will play good and finish last." It's like that's what's up. He's there because he's a YouTuber. There is no value. Someone else said, I think it was Baroff, I like this one, was the best one would have been film anyway, and then film getting DQ'd. Who gives a shit? Like that's more for he's a YouTuber. You can't tell Gordon Ramsay to come out to a cookout and then say you ain't cooking or chefing up, but that's what you do. You can't tell him that. This guy is a YouTuber. You brought him there because he's on YouTube. He's never going to crush it. He ain't bringing the eyes are going to go to the YouTube channel. That's where he wants them. So if he wants to pass it up, that's on him. And he did. Clearly, he made a business decision and he's okay with it, or he would have played. That says it all. So anybody can say whatever they want. They're not in his position. It reminds me of the live stuff, which everyone gets shit on for this stuff. You can't say it if you're not in the position. If you have no idea what's going on, you have your opinions, of course. That's literally what X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it is for. My point is, you can't really be involved if it's not he gets to make the call, and he made the call. It wasn't like he decided someone decided for him. He decided for himself, Pat. So I think that's the key.
And I think it makes sense from his part. Like, what incentive does he have to go out there for free? And it would be for free. I get that you can win money winning the tournament. He's not winning the tournament. So he's playing for free out there. Why is he there? It's to get the content. Yeah. If you're the Barracuda, I mean, maybe this was all pre-planned, that he knew he wasn't going to be able to film. He accepts the invitation just so he can make a video saying that he's not going to play. And then he gets even more engagement out of it. That's not out of the realm of possibility because it worked. And everyone's getting traction out of this. Hell, we're talking about it right now during an Open Championship show.
100%.
But
by the way, exactly.
At the same time, why doesn't the PGA just work with him? Like, listen, you're going to make money off this. We want a 25% cut of whatever this video is. And then boom, you're good to go. The one thing I understand from the PGA's perspective is they let him do this. Do they technically have to let everyone do this? Like, is Justin Rose going to have a film crew with him somewhere out there? Like, I know that's not, I understand that's like a really weird out of left field type of suggestion. And to think that someone like Big would do that is kind of insane. But what if they did want it? Like Bryson would want to do it, wouldn't he?
Just do it, man. We've already talked about this a million times. I don't care. Like it's way better. All the shit they do to cut off. You and I have had this conversation so many times. The worst sport, league, whatever you want to say, at content in the entire world. Their Twitter or X, it sucks. Everything they do sucks. Their content is horrible. And I don't care. You should let these people do it. Justin Rose might do a little pose on the 17th hole, eat an ice cream cone, could get a couple more bucks. Bryson would definitely bring a crew, grow. If they really want to grow it, bring it out there. That's part of it. And every kid out there that wants to be a golfer loves watching YouTube, wants to be a creator too. People are so caught up in YouTube golf versus real golf. Grant's job, I like what you said. He almost did the DQ thing Baroff mentioned backwards. It's open week. Maybe he did do that. Because he doesn't have anything to prove as a golfer. He's a YouTuber. He wants to make all the money from that and show that like a little bit of stuff related to golf. That's his niche. That's his topic that he's within. But it's like you said, there's no benefit for him. They brought him there because of that. Let him cook, or if not, just deal with it. What was the point in even bringing the guy along? Like, it just makes no sense. So yeah, I think they got to let people start putting the content out. They really should let all of us just film and post whatever we want. Who cares?
I tend to agree. And even if he said like, hey, we'll film it from outside the ropes, then who cares?
And even if it's outside, yeah, like that's the other part of it. I don't know. It just frustrates me to no end because we love the game so much. We watch it. Oh, but it wouldn't get, technically there's a lose-lose because he wouldn't get eyes to the Barracuda now if he was filming it for his own stuff. That you brought him there. He's a YouTuber. Where do you think they're going to go watch him at? You want people watching the game and to know that the Barracuda even exists? Guess where they find that out? YouTube. And then go. When people sign up for Ship It Nation, they find out about the show on YouTube and then go to Ship It Nation. When people watch this show and find out about Fantasy National, they watch this show and go, oh, that exists. And they go to Fantasy National. Lost. Again, PGA, so bad. So bad at content. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. FantasyNational.com/Mayo. You might want to get in right now, by the way. Lock in that price. This is what I'm telling you right now. It'd be great news. That's really all I got on the Horvat stuff. Is I don't understand like Wes Bryan getting all up in arms about it. Like, these guys should just go to Live and work with Live more, because Live will allow you to do all this stuff. Like, that's the one benefit of being Live.
Doesn't Grant Horvat have a Live deal?
I don't know if he has a Live deal. I know he played in their creator class. I know Wes Bryan played in it too. It basically got him banned from the PGA Tour.
I thought they literally signed this guy.
Now they signed Rick Shields, I think.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, I forget what it was. There was one guy that they brought over that was like that. But yeah, that's my point. So is what it is. It's like you said, he's got all, you type his name in, he's everywhere. Loaded engagement. Guess whose YouTube channel's growing this week? Thank you to the PGA Tour for the invite. That's all I needed. And he's moving on.
Yeah, boom. I found a way to make money off this.
So win-lose. Now you made it a win-lose. Thank you. Goodbye. Yep. Again, these content creators are sharp. He's good. I'm good with it. Like, you PGA, so bad at everything they do.
We'll let you know that I'm going to be in Memphis for the St. Jude this year.
Nice.
If anyone is around Memphis or going to the St. Jude, hit me up. I'm going to be around most of the week. So apparently very hot. I don't want to be walking around like Lucas Glover or Robert Garrigus sweating through my pants.
Super hot. Great tournament, though. Remember, I was there live, got to see the
you went, didn't you? The Zalatoris
ZW. It's an amazing course. And the playoff is where you'll get the sweat on because they do the running around. So just hopefully it doesn't go to a playoff. You got to really get on your horse to get to the next hole if they go past the first one. So I love it, though. I think it's a great place, incredible course. It was a good time going out there. Definitely a good one to be at.
You could also, what is it? Damn, now I lost my train of thought on that. Killing me. I had it and I lost it, and I read a comment and boom, it was all out of my mind.
Hate when that happens.
Should I bet Max Homa at the Barracuda? He's like 28-1.
Sure. But what's the angle besides, is he, what do you think, he's back now?
I don't think he's back, but listen, people were betting him in like the Memorial 6 weeks ago against Scotty Scheffler and Rory and all these guys. And now he has to beat like Emiliano Grillo and Ryan Gerard, and he's not the betting favorite. If he's somewhat back, this seems like a good spot.
The two names you just mentioned kind of sound better than Homa to me right now, but maybe that's just me. Gerard, I think, is fine. So it's like
Gerard legitimately can't, he can't chip or putt. He's broken on the greens, man. It's bad.
It happens. It
does. Whatever yips he's in. Daniel Berger has the same thing. If you go look at Daniel Berger's numbers, I think he was first last week in approach, or he was second. He's perfect for Portrush, but for whatever reason, he can't chip or putt anymore. It's been like 3 months now.
He's low price in this field this week too.
I would gamble on him on DraftKings just because I don't know if the slow greens help him out and he can actually make a few putts. Like he kind of grinded at the US Open too. Like the ball striking has been so good. And I'm taking accuracy guys over power guys this week anyway. And he's one of the better accuracy guys.
Remind me of it when we go through some of the guys, but because you do a great job of always just remembering stuff. But the one thing that comes to mind, and has nothing to do with this, but kind of does have to do with the Open in general, is things like you just said, the what ifs. What if this helps someone out? Remember Hovland in the mix. What was it at the old course when he can't, his around the green game sucks. Oh, well, wait a sec. These are all runoffs and he can just figure it out and find his way and putt it and do different things. And we're like, oh shit, everything else was dialed in for Hovland. We didn't really, not everybody put that together. And he ended up being much lower owned that week at that event, just because people said one piece of his skill set was no good. So I kind of like what you just hammered that with the burger point, whether right or wrong for this week. It's what if this little thing helps him out, because all the other stuff should be okay. That's the type of things that can separate you or make a difference in your lineups when you're building.
Yeah, I actually think that applies to Victor this week, by the way, that there is no runoff. You need to get the ball up and you need to be able to stop it. And that's a real problem.
And he's popular this week. I know the 8K range is being mostly overlooked, but when we get to DraftKings later, if there is somebody that people are playing in the 8K range, it's most likely going to be Hovland before anybody else. He's 8,300.
I'm just 0% Hovland. So that probably means he wins, but I just can't do it here. Because
I like it.
Listen, I don't want to bet him to win. I see the path for him to win. If he just ball strikes the shit out of the ball, then he's going to be fine. But is he really going to hit 72 greens in regulation? Even if he hits 85%, he's probably making bogey on half the holes he misses the green.
Yeah, that's a great call. That's what I'm saying. You just sort of flipped everything I was saying before, and now you flipped it back on him. And that's why I like doing this and going through it and talking through each option, especially at a major like this. We got lots of time, lots of options, lots of creative thoughts. That's a good one right out of the gate. And then the burger piece on the flip side, kind of going with the original Hovland thought from back at the other events. So yeah, I like all this stuff as we get through it.
Yeah, I would be far more willing to risk my DraftKings life and take the opportunity, like the opportunity cost between some of these people. Like, how much is Victor? 80 what?
83.
He's 83. I would put Ludwig in this camp too, because dude also can't chip. He is at $9,100. Now they can overcome it with ball striking and be fine, but Victor, as you mentioned, is going to be pretty popular. I don't know about Ludwig. I don't want to risk a clear deficiency that I know that they have at a course where I think that's really going to matter for $9,100 or mid-eights when I know that there are other guys I like better there. With Berger at $6,600, well, who the fuck else am I playing at $6,600? They all have deficiencies somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is that's another note is just how the pricing sets up. But like you said, when you get down to the lower price, you can kind of just pick and choose your spots.
Yeah, I mean, just like Berger's the same price as Tom Kim, who I like. He's the same price as $100 less than Siwoo, who I like. Lucas Herbert is $100 less. I like Lucas Herbert this week as well. Harry Hall is there a chance Harry Hall ends up being the most owned guy? Because he sticks out like a sore thumb in the bottom of this pricing.
He's going to be super popular for the 6K range, definitely.
Yeah. But like he'll get to double digits, I would guess.
Oh yeah, I would see it. I mean, even in the lottery, I think you can get to double digits where it'll be a little more kept in check. When you move up to the higher stakes, Harry Hall, we were just paying $9K for him plus and getting paid off. Like it wasn't like we were paying $9K and getting a loser. We were getting a guy that was coming through at $9,400 and $9,900 and things like that. So 64 is just a misprice. That doesn't mean lock button or automatically he comes through. It's just, it is definitely a misprice based on everything else and the surrounding factors. That's how I would put it.
All right. I'm going to bet Homa 28-1.
Can you at least get a boost on that?
No, no, I can't.
All right.
I'm saving my boost for potentially someone at the top of the board.
All right.
If you had to bet someone at the top of the board this week, like 30-1 or below, who would it be? Because I honest to God, the name that I keep circling around, it's mainly because of the odds, is Xander.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It would probably be, I actually think it would probably be Ludwig or Lowry. Kind of like both of those guys.
Lowry, really?
Yeah, I think Lowry is super interesting to me because he's kind of, I don't want to say overlooked, but in a lot of spots this week, just because his recent form isn't that good. And I'm definitely not just saying it because he won here in 2019. I'm just saying in general, the guy does set up well for this type of course. We've seen it plenty at similar type courses in the past. He's not getting overlooked. Like he's right there. He's priced correctly. His betting odds are, some bad. They're like, I don't want to bet that number. That's where I'm saying I'm just looking for it. I don't think he's that bad. and I think he can set up fine at any of these courses, and particularly this one, we know he can. So to me, he's somewhat interesting. Ludwig is just the talent, right? You're betting on talent alone. Which Ludwig do you get? It's tough to say at times, but I think Lowry would be the one that would interest me there.
So Homa at the Barracuda, 28-1. And the only bet that I've made so far for first round leader is Lucas Glover as a part of that PM wave at 150-1. I just want to wait for the forecast to potentially mature a little bit more to see if I could pick out a spot or two. Because I was thinking like maybe some of the guys that I have just outright bets on, like, hey, I might as well just bet like Straka and Henley first round leader too. Maybe that's where they cash it for me.
I always like that play, to be honest. It's just a way you can get there and move up faster, and you get your money on day one. But it's also, there's nothing worse. This is more of a FOMO thing, but there's nothing worse than them finishing first round leader. Not only that you don't have it for the money, but then you're like, oh, is my guy really going to hang on for 4 days, even if there is ups and downs, not going wire to wire per se, but you know what I mean? Where it's set up like that's always he got there on day one and you don't get anything for it. And then you got to hope he holds up.
One and done. Currently in 79th place, moved up a little bit the past 2 weeks, but not enough to make it matter. This is the tournament where I need to make it matter if I want to get back up into, I want to say the big money, but I guess I could like fly back up into like 10th place if I pick someone. I have Rahm remaining, Hatton remaining, Bobby Mack, Straka is there, Fitzpatrick and Neiman are my best options right now, and Brooks, I suppose, of the guys that I can use. What would you think about doing here? I think that Rahm is probably going to be the most used, if I had to guess.
I think so.
Or Hatton, because Hatton is 98% available for the one and done to use.
What's Rahm though? Isn't Rahm still?
Rahm's 46%.
40. Yeah, it's enough that Rahm is going to be popular. So it's up to. I mean, you're what one? You said one. No, you said 79th for you.
I'm in 79th. Straka is 37% left. The thing is, I could use Straka at Southwind because I think that's also a very good course and potentially a comp course for this place, by the way.
Also, you're going to be there. So it's like the same thing where I had Willie Z that week for the first time ever after I shit talked him for so long and then got him to win. You did peg Straka for this event, though. We've said all season you were saving him for here, but I kind of like now that you're saying that, saving him for Memphis. And then what do you do here? Hatton, I guess? Like,
no, I can't go with someone that I need to. If I'm going to move up, I got to fade the most popular players. If it's going to be Rahm, I think Rahm, Hatton, Fitz are going to be up there. Maybe even Bobby Mack because people still have. Maybe I just use Straka. Maybe people don't use him.
I don't think they can because isn't Henley going to get played as well?
Yeah, but I think Henley's. I guess Henley is 50%. Yeah, I'll use Straka then. I will use Straka for this one. I think people will feel the need to use one of the live guys because this is the last chance that you have to use them. Yeah. So maybe of that 37% that have Straka remaining, they'll use Rahm or Hatton or Henley or whoever, and that'll be it.
I got Straka. I'm going to use him at Southwind. Maybe I can move from 2100th up to 1000th.
It would be a good look. Do you like Brooks this week?
I haven't thought about him, no.
Yeah. Who else could I use? I'm just looking at the other teams. If I want to get back into them, I'm just outside the money on my other team.
79th, you are not that far off, though. You need the winner. So
I do need the winner.
So it's like the popularity is honestly less than the other, but it matters still for sure. And so many people will use Rahm, Hatton, Fitz, like you said. So I like the Straka call.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where if I use Rahm and he wins, I will move up, but I'll move up to 48th. Yeah, but if Straka wins, I'll move up to 17th or something.
Yep, definitely.
So that's the way that I need to play it. I think I'll use Hideki on my other team. Not using Wyndham Clark. I'll tell you that.
It might be your last chance going to live after this.
Oh, I actually did. There's two other bets that I did make. I bet Spieth over Goddard because Goddard was like a massive favorite over him, which is blowing my mind. Additionally, I get that Spieth's coming back from the injury, but just at an open championship venue, give me Spieth over Goddard in that sense. You must have had Goddard last week. He's the guy that won you all the money?
In the lineup that won all the money, it wasn't all the money. It was like 12K total, but all the money was the Goddard play. And at 7,100, you just had to play him a little bit differently. He was super popular. So I was underweight on him for the week, but I used him in that lineup. But people got there without Goddard last week. There was lineups you could build that didn't use him.
I would guess in smaller field, higher stake stuff.
Yeah, I think the 150K to first for like the 555 or I think it was $600 last week to buy in, did not have Goddard up in the winner.
Oh, of note, if you don't have to go to fantasygolfchampionships.com in order to make your picks anymore, if you download the Fanball app free in the App Store, Android and Apple, you can just make your picks on there. There's a one and done exclusive section in there that just make it easy on yourself. If you want to use an app, go use that. We will be covering Underdog, DK, and more, taking your questions towards the end of the show coming up in a little bit. But first, I need to, I'm not Grant Horvat. I can't just release a Twitter ad and make $100,000. I got to sell some ads. So here they are. I was having some problems sleeping. When anyone has little kids, that's probably going to be the case. They'll come up, wake you up in the middle of the night for no real apparent reason. So you're waking up, you're going back to sleep, you're waking up, going back to sleep. It's not the best sleep. I put my Apple Watch on and tried to track my sleep tracker. It was not going well. A lot of that changed once I got a Helix mattress, however, because I was able to customize it to both what I want, what my wife wants, and now we are sleeping throughout the night. The little noises that would just normally wake you up when you're not sleeping well, no longer the case for me. No more back pain either, because I'm actually sleeping on a mattress that is perfect for what my back demands, which is a lot because I have a terrible back. The one that I had before my Helix mattress, I spent a lot of money on it. It was bad after like 2 years. It had like the divot in it from where I sleep. It was unflippable. It was a horrendous waste of money. Not only is the Helix mattress I have now way better, it was also significantly cheaper. And it just showed up to my door in a box. Very easy to get onto my bed frame and just start using right away. So you can have all your problems solved with a Helix mattress as well. So you can go to helixsleep.com/mayo for 27% off site-wide. That is exclusive to listeners of the Pat Mayo Experience. That's helixsleep.com/mayo for 27% off site-wide. Make sure to enter my show name after checkout so they know that I sent you. helixsleep.com/mayo. Feeling stuck in your daily wellness routine? You're not alone. Our friends at Cornbread Hemp, they heard you. Their organic CBD gummies are made to help you feel better, whether it's stress and poor sleep or just needing a moment to unwind. Personally, I started taking them before a round of golf because I've been dealing with this tennis elbow issue. It's starting to go away, but it tightens up on me throughout the course of the round. So just when I pop a Cornbread Hemp CBD gummy, all of a sudden loosen right up, playing a lot better. Highly recommended if your muscles seize up or get tight during a round of golf. CBD might be just what you need to level up your daily routine. Cornbread Hemp uses only the best parts of hemp plant, the flower, for purest and the most potent CBD. No fillers, no junk, just full spectrum goodness. Right now, they're offering 30% off your first order. So go to cornbreadhemp.com/PatMayo and use code PatMayo at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/PatMayo with code PatMayo to get 30% off your first order. Coming back, reminder to smash the like to the episode, turn on the notifications for a live later on tonight, where if you have any final questions, I shall be answering them. I think that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, maybe 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Depends on when my kids go to bed. When they go to bed, I'll do the show. Make it easy on me. There was a question before we jump to Underdog and DraftKings, Tambo. I think it's an important question to kind of address. Someone asked, at this point of the season, does total ownership become less important and ownership of the entries ahead of you become more important? That for me, I think that's absolutely the case, because he also then goes on to say, if you're in 70th, who cares if Rahm is most owned if no one in front of you has him? I think my point is that I think the people in front of me are going to have Rahm.
They do have them. That was what I was going to say. So the answer is in the latter part of that question. It's, if everyone has them, they have them.
Yeah, I think Hatton and Rahm will be the two most popular guys of the players used ahead of me that I need to catch.
And even if you went, I think you can in fantasy golf championships go ahead and look at everybody and who's used what, but you're going to find out pretty quickly. There's probably, like you said, I think the number you had was good. I guessed 45th, you said 48. It's probably 30 there's probably 30 people up there that are going to use them, and just ignore that and say, I'm close enough. I'm using him and getting the win. I think he's going to win. But a lot of the conversation is just around that because it's the last chance to use him as a live golfer. He's playing well. Of course, he's a good option. He makes sense, but you want to be able to go to 17th, like you said, and not 48th if he does get the job done. In your case, if Straka can do it for you.
Yeah, and listen, $600 is nothing to sneeze at, but I think that's all I would gain by getting up to 50th from 70th or 45th from 70th. But I could get up like $6,000 if I get up inside the top 20.
Yeah, and it's important to remember you're not going completely off the board. You're going with your original guy that you wanted all year in this spot. You're going with a guy that definitely still rates out well, value-wise, betting well. Like it's a guy that can definitely get the job done here. And so that's kind of the point, is you're just going to the third or fourth best option to be able to level up and put yourself ahead, where now your blocker position, while you lose Rom and don't end up using him, which I know to some would just seem crazy, it still puts you in a blocker position for those last few events where you'll have guys that others don't, or you have the matching piece that they want to use and you can just use whoever you want down the stretch, being in the top 20 now.
Underdog, this week I'm playing to make and to miss the cut props, because that's where you can play them. You can play them on Underdog. If you use code Mayo right now, you'll get a deposit bonus of up to $1,000. Additionally, you'll get a free pick in the Pick'em game. I've already built out some already. I put this one actually underneath my Wyndham Clark. It's funny because I got the Wyndham Clark information after I did the show with Bileski last night, I asked her, I was like, who's the one guy out there who looks completely lost? He's like, Wyndham Clark.
All adds up. Makes sense.
And I didn't like him this week anyway, just because I don't think that he can hit fairways, and that's just going to lead to gigantic numbers. So here's the one that I put underneath that tweet that I played last night. Adam Scott to make the cut. Wyndham Clark to miss the cut. Ryan Fox to make the cut. $100 pays, I think, like $350 on it. Yeah, pays $382. I feel like that's a one to dip our toe into the water. And here's one that Cam, myself, and Noonan made on Tuesday's show. Olesen to make the cut, Nico to make the cut, McCarty to make the cut, Wrighton and Matt Wallace to make the cut. That pays 100, pays 1,500. So that's 15 to 1. And then the original one that I played to begin the week was Kirk, Glover, Scott, and Nick Taylor, all to make the cut. I like Adam Scott this week. I didn't even realize I liked Adam Scott that much.
Yeah, I like the original one. The second one looks like it should pay 15,000, not 1,500 for what you've got on there. And then the last one makes a ton of sense as well. So I think 1 and 3 seem like the best. I'm sure 2 will win now, but definitely a wild one there in the second one.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's like, who are the back end guys that we liked this week? Let's just see if we can put them all together to make the cut.
Usually goes really well.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like trying to build a 6-6 DraftKings lineup of only 6K guys.
The books must hate you, right? As they see those ones, like, oh gosh.
Well, let's try to build one out here. It's something that we can do. Honestly, to build the make and miss cut on Underdog, it's way easier on the app to do it than desktop that I'm using right now. On the app, there's actual list of to make and miss, if that's the way that you want to go. Maybe I'll just pull that up as we're doing this, just to make it easier on myself, and you guys can play along too if you want to submit an entry. I'll put the entry when we're done into here. But is there someone, like, would you try to play the wave stack here? Like, would this be a spot to potentially lean into that chalk of the AM PM guys and maybe try to pluck some good odds out of that, and conversely maybe go the other way of guys that were like borderline on that might have those midday tee times and get them to miss the cut, maybe some bigger names?
Yeah, definitely think so, because it's a spot where, 1, you can correlate, and 2, you can anti-correlate, like you like, where you're going to get a boost in the odds by taking some from the wave you think will make it, some from the wave you will think will get hurt by that. And then it's dependent on the site. I'm not sure if Underdog has lined all that up in the back end as far as how the odds shake out, but if they haven't, that's a spot to look for an advantage or a gain. So getting to those 3 picks or those 5 bangers, as you like to call them, those are the ways that you can do it, Pat, where you can double, triple down on kind of the thought process we just talked about.
So from what I can tell, and maybe this ends up moving up 2 hours, then it's absolutely pooched, or going the other way, and then the AM guys really have an advantage. But the worst tee times on Thursday appear to be basically 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 9 a.m. to noon, like that range of guys, which puts, and that's local time over in Northern Ireland. So that would be, let's see here, the guys with the worst of it. Let's look at 10 a.m. You have like Patrick Reed, Wyndham Clark, Scotty Scheffler, Morikawa, Xander, Spawn, Rahm. We got a lot of big names sandwiched in there.
You think that is the worst tee time?
I think for Thursday, that's the worst tee time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like that's technically
like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. looks like the worst of the day. So anyone kind of playing in that block, the majority of the time will have rain and the biggest gusts of wind.
Yeah.
I think Scotty's primed to fight his way out of that. I don't really worry about that, but I could see things going awry and just kind of sinking yourself out of it. Where if Scotty was going to shoot 4 under on day one, maybe he shoots +1 kind of thing.
Aaron Rye?
Aaron Rye? He's in that block?
I don't know, but you said you could see things going awry. That could be a sign, Pat. That could be a hint, subtle hint. Aaron Rye is almost 2 p.m. local.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. That's a good tee time.
Yeah, so
that means he's getting out when all the crap is kind of stopping.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is like, I don't know if it's just now or this morning where it updated, but it's funny on Thursday. That's what I was trying to say to you earlier. And now I see it is like the AM wave local, the biggest wind 13 to 15 miles per hour is from 10 to 1 o'clock and the highest gusts from 20. Yet that's where the guys that people like Scotty, Rahm, all those guys start now.
Yeah. So that changed up a bit. And look, it might change 12 hours later. So maybe you want to wait off on doing this. But I'm not going to take Scotty to miss the cut. But I mean, I don't want to put Wyndham Clark to miss the cut on all of these. But I really do like that one. I like that one before.
He's coming back to dunk on your locker, Pat.
He might. He might just do this to spite me. But let's throw him on there. Wyndham Clark to miss cut that pays 1.09. So we'll throw that one on. How about...
I like putting some of the guys you said that, are more popular name, like a Patrick Reed, who you talked about. Like, it makes perfect sense. He plays well in the wind. He's playing better golf right now. People like him on DraftKings. If he lands in that zone and starts poorly, does he bounce back or not? And that's a guy that you can throw on there. And I'm not sure how that works out, but I would put something like that for sure. And I don't even mind the guy this week. I'm just saying, I think that's an interesting way to do these type of cards.
I like this idea. So we have him to miss the cut at 1.28. So we're already up to almost 5-1 with just those two guys. I mean, Cuss picked JJ Spawn to win this tournament. He's playing with Xander and Rahm in a terrible tee time.
Maybe take the round one 3 ball, take Spawn for that. That's where he comes through, gets it done in round one. Cuss gets excited, and then he goes full Keegan or something on day 2 and just disappears off the map.
Oh, where's Sam Burns? Where's Sam Burns to miss cut? I mean, he can always putt his way to the cut. That's always a thing, but he's playing in the terrible tee time. And as we learned from Oakmont, doesn't really like playing in wet conditions.
Yeah. I think that's, again, we'll have to see how it actually shakes out. But yeah, the Burns one is interesting. What's his ownership look like this week? I'm just thinking about tying together that angle. Not many people interested in him on DraftKings either. So yeah, maybe you could go against him if you wanted.
Yeah. So if you put those 3 together, you get Wyndham Clark, Patrick Reed, and Sam Burns all to miss the cut. It's almost 12-1. I mean, if we really want to get in,
rather that ticket than the crazy shit you showed earlier at 15-1 with needing like 7 more things to happen.
It was 5 guys.
It's 5 guys with fries. I don't care. It was too many crazy dudes. So I like this one for 12-1.
Do we want to throw on anyone to make the cut or just run out those 3 guys to miss the cut?
Do you know what I like? I like running that for say 100 and then rerunning it and adding 2 more to make that we feel good about.
I got a lightning promo. Oh, I can go. Oh, they're giving me a suit for $70 more, Tambo, on Underdog. I can get a supercharge, which means I can go from 100 to, it's counting me down 45 seconds. There's a lot of pressure on me here. It goes, it's 100 pays 1160 or 170 pays 2300. I think I do that.
Got to do it.
Yeah, I got to do it. They got me. The odds are too good.
Solid. Means they must really hate your bet.
Yeah. It happened to me on the weekend too. I followed your guy, G Luke. Yeah, I followed his. It ended up losing, but they gave me a super promo on that too. Maybe that's just something they're doing for golf right now. GS
Luke is the prince of props, man.
I know. That's why I tailed him. I lost.
Absolutely crushes. And I think, it's a tough scene with the books. They might not be offering him those lightning bolts too often because he's crushing them. But love what he does. And he helps us out a ton over at Ship It Nation.
So I put those 3 back in so we can add some guys to make the cut if we want to.
All right, now let's do this. Let's go back to.
How about Patty to make the cut?
Oh God,
it's even money, and he's the first guy out. Or how about McKibben to make the cut? Then he's also in that first group with Nikolai Højgaard.
Yeah, throw him on there. Said he's seen the course 70 plus times, 70 plus rounds.
They used to work out really well for Ryan Palmer at the Colonial.
McKibben's got good form coming in too, though.
Yeah, top 5 last week over at Valderrama. All right, we're up to 17.5 to 1 now.
And what about if we get Justin Thomas make the cut?
That's going to be too low.
What's too low?
He's like 0.6. Like, it doesn't really do anything for us.
Really?
We need more like mid guy. Like McKibben's a good one. He's like 0.75 or something like that. I was thinking, who's here? Like Jordan Smith is here.
I like Smith.
Cam Smith is there. Day is there.
Day or Smith is Day's early on too.
Yeah.
7 o'clock local.
Let's see. Day to make the cut. Yeah, he's 0.73. All right. We're up to 21. That didn't really do that much for us. 21 to 1 now.
Well, that's what's crazy. So see, that's what I don't like when you say, again, it's not to keep on this topic too long, but like that example is just annoying. It's 0.6 for a guy like JT, but it's only 0.7 for J Day. It's like you may as well just get, for me, when you're doing that for the 0.1, and I know it compounds, but the setup of why wouldn't you just go to the guy you feel better about at that point? It's 0.1. It's betting. There's no game theory to this. It's just that's the thought process.
Now, now if you take Jason Day off
and go Jordan Smith
and go Patty Harrington, it's now 30 to 1.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was Jordan Smith? Out of curiosity.
Let's see. Let's find Jordan Smith on here.
Jordan
L. Smith.
Yeah, we got it.
He's 0.87, so he gets us up to 25.5 to 1.
Yeah, let's run that.
All right, so McKibben and Smith to make the cut. Burns, Clark, and Reed to miss the cut. $100 pays 25.4 to 1. If you do the flex, this is something we can do. You do the flex play on it.
Yeah.
It's 12.7 to 1 for all 5, but it's almost 4 to 1 if you go 4 to 5.
I never mind the flex, but I don't know what the
screw it. Let's go for it. Let's go for gold here. 100 pays 2,500.
When our guy Nelson or somebody chimes in about like these, like he always talks about like the 3 or the 5. What is it on the flex? The guys that are much smarter at math. What's the play there?
If anyone who's good at math is watching, you let us know, because it's not me.
I'm just saying they've got this stuff studied inside out. There's got to be a different angle to it. It certainly makes sense, and it's easy to understand on like the 3 versus the 2 or something. But yeah, I'm just curious how the flex plays into that.
I'm going to put that in that 5 play link right now is in the chat. If people want to go find it, I'll have it in the newsletter later on this evening as well. I should probably Slack that to myself so I have it, so I just don't completely forget as we go through it. And that means we can jump over and start talking about DK, pal.
You outed yourself as a Slack guy. You're still big on the Slack channels?
What do you guys use?
Well, people use all kinds of different stuff. They use Discord.
Don't have Discord. Never wanted to get in the Discord game.
Wow, never in the Discord game. Okay.
That means I like would feel forced to like have like specific times where I interact with people. I don't want to do that. I'm doing a live show. People can interact with me here.
That shirt you're wearing today, people really like it in the chat. It's more like a WhatsApp shirt. Like it feels like
I have WhatsApp as well, but we share a lot of like it's a lot of file sharing stuff between us. There's only like 5 of us on the Slack, but if we have to share Photoshop documents, videos, it's better for that.
All right, we got it. The tools for Mayo Scoops Slack. Get a new ad. You might get a sponsor out of them now.
Hope so.
Get a Slack sponsor. Yeah, it's perfect.
DK, we're here. 1
second, Pat. Ghetto Farmer Boy said Flex is not EV plus.
Yeah, but who's that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I've been playing a 4-banger flex play for WNBA. And like it keeps me positive every single week. I'm probably down because I've actually gone 4-4 a bunch of times and I probably should have just went with it. But it's nice not going on those gigantic losing streaks at the same time too. For peace of mind, it's nice.
Everything's plus EV when you're winning. That's the key. Winning solves everything.
And what's the difference of Slack and Discord? I don't know. I've had Slack for like 10 years. I have it set up. That's really the difference.
If you want to go to, if you want to check out Discord, go to shipitnation.com, sign up, check out the Discord. That's what Discord is.
There you go. I just see Discord as like, the World of Warcraft South Park episode, like that guy. That's what I imagine Discord is.
Oh, this is good shit. All right. And Ghetto Farmer Boy said he's a nobody about himself. Perfect. We appreciate you though. Not a nobody to us, Ghetto Farmer Boy. We got you covered, man.
Okay, listen, we'll like you even more if you smash the like. That'll work out well for
100%.
us. DK, ownership. Let's get to it. I think Rom's going to be the highest owned.
Me too. He fits every build. He even fits a Scotty Rom build, by the way, like pretty easily because it's 6,400 left on the table, give or take, and there is 3 to 4 guys down there that you can just click. But we have to kind of build without Scotty, I think, to start because Rom is for sure. Do you have McNeely in it for sure at 6,100?
No, I didn't even think about Matt McNeely this week.
Yeah.
Why are people thinking about Matt McNeely?
I don't know. I think it's like world ranking and price plus equals projection, therefore ownership.
Okay, that's interesting. That's not where my mind would have went on something like this, but that logic makes sense to me.
Okay, so let me think here then. I got to put Harry Hall with Rom. And then who else did you say you had earlier? There was guys in the 7s. You said Henley and
let's see. In the 7s, Fitz, Henley, Straka.
It's way harder than you think, actually. Let me see this. So if it's Rom, Sepp, I got to get in there. Straka's for sure in this.
And then Rom. That leaves us 8,250. You could basically go like Victor. And there's not like the next guy. I mean, I bet you Rose will be pretty popular.
What happens when you put McNeely in this, though? Where do you land?
McNeely.
I'm telling you, man.
I'd rather play McKibben or Matt McCarty. 10-4, get you back up to Bryson if you wanted it, which I don't think anyone's playing Bryson. Like he could be a great leverage play.
Yeah, I don't think many people are playing Bryson either for sure. So
I think this looks more like, let's see, that gets you down. Is there anyone at 7,000? Not really, because I think Fleetwood will be somewhat popular. Burns is going to be pretty popular. What's Burns give you? Burns goes to 91. 91 is Ludwig. It's probably something like Hatton, Rose. That fits.
I got to see here, like
Rom, Fitz, Henley, Straka, Rose, Hatton.
Okay, Rom, Fitz, Henley. What is going on here, man? Rom, Fitz, Henley. Man, it's weird. You do keep landing in that range. I'm going to plug this one in just because you have it here, but I was trying to see something else. But Straka, who's the guy I'm on that you're not? It's Hall goes to, who's your 7,600? Rose?
Rose, yeah. I mean, I would prefer Hideki in that spot, considering I bet Hideki seems, maybe I'm just way off on this. Hideki seems like one of the more mispriced players, betting odds, whatever it might be this week. He just seems a lot better than a lot of these guys. Like, if I get that Hatton's playing some pretty good golf right now, but if you were to line them up 1v1, Hideki's the better player. I like Hatton enough too, but like, come on. Like Bobby Mack is $1,500 better than Hideki. Give me a break.
Well, I got to ask you, because we had the Hideki Mayo World Rankings conversation back in the day. Where would Hideki rank now is the question.
Would you put him above or below Mav McNeely?
Above.
Okay, so that's, I mean, we forget that he won the opening event of the year as well. Like, he's having problems with his driver right now. Granted. But I said that Southwind is probably a pretty good course for here. He's won there. The slow greens at Kapalua, I think, are pretty telling. And his iron play has been magic. If he can just club down and hit a fucking fairway, he's going to be fine and be in contention.
See, there's a what if guy.
He's definitely a what if guy.
Like you said, it's a point of what you just said though. It's if he can just do this, he's can definitely do that. He's one of the best of the last 10 years now plus. It's a guy that can definitely figure it out at this course. He's not
what would you bank on happening more? Hideki figuring out how to hit a fairway or Victor learning how to chip?
Hideki hitting a fairway.
And he's what, $1,000 less?
Yeah, I like him here for what we're building out and stuff. I'm just still trying to see how does this optimal with Rom work outside of adding like Rose and Hatton, because I just don't see them being the ones that make it. But
I think you're sleeping on how popular Rose is going to be this week. I think he's going to be the most popular first round leader bet, if I had to guess. Like, I'm seeing Fitz. So Xander looks like he's going to carry a ton of ownership as well, as will Fleetwood, with the way that I'm seeing it right now. Probably Fleetwood more than Xander. So let's take out Rose and put in Fleetwood. What does that give us left to play with in that Hatton spot? 7,000. Is there anyone there? Is it Rye at 69? Or are people just playing him?
I'm wondering if it's like Rom, Fleetwood, Straka, and then take out Henley and Fitz for a second.
It's going to be Fitz.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Fitz. So I'm just trying to see what the closing is.
Burns, Hideki?
Is it going to be like Morikawa and a $6,200 guy?
I'm not seeing a ton of Morikawa this week
I
at all.
I think there's going to be more heavy Morikawa steam at 8,700. That's a pretty interesting price for Kawa. But
You know what? Let's try this. Maybe it's something like this. It's Henley, Lowry, not Fleetwood, and then you're at 72. Your boy Cam Young sitting right there. Ryan Fox is right there too. He's going to be popular.
yeah, how much is he? 71?
He's 71. And there's no one at 94. If you found $100 somewhere, you could get back up to Fleetwood. But I think a version of something like this with different pieces. Maybe Henley becomes Rose for people. If Henley becomes Rose, does that get you to... If Henley becomes Rose, and then you get rid of Lowry, that gets you to Xander. There it is. Xander, Rahm, Straka, Rose fits with Ryan Fox.
And it's Xander. So it's Xander or Fleetwood in that spot if they're leaving the money.
Yes. And I think if you went to Fleetwood, I think Fox turns into Burns if you want him, who I am seeing with ownership.
I'm seeing, he doesn't turn into him. He turns into Corey Connors, actually.
Are people on Connors this week?
Yes, 7,200.
I'm not seeing a ton on. I see more Fox than Connors.
I think it'll be interesting how it shakes out. It's like the Reed, Fox, Connors, that sort of thing. But I think in higher stakes and stuff, Connors will be popular for sure.
When we go down into the sixes, Harris English and Harry Hall, and you said, who was it? Mav McNeely? Yeah, I'm seeing Mav McNeely. Some Nick Taylor love as well down there. And Marco Penge, your guy. Played well last week. How could he ever fail this week?
Yeah, same course.
Just run it back.
Nobody take that seriously, please. Definitely not the same course. But yeah, I think that's always interesting. The projections like Corey Connors, the projections like some of these guys down here, but maybe JJ Spawn, the cusp bump. Harry Hall for sure. Harry Hall, 6,400.
Harry Hall's the guy.
We got to get, how do we get him in here?
Let's see, projection wise, I love it when when you don't adjust the projections properly and it gives you like the absolute goobers of the world. Like Ethan Fang is in a bunch of these for some reason. Got to get rid of that.
I found the projected lineup. Just one second. And it's Straka. Do you think Straka or I think Straka more than Rose, but it leaves $200. But anyway, this is the one. It projects off the page. It's Rahm, Fleetwood, Victor Hovland, and then it goes Fitzpatrick, Straka, Hall, and you can add $200 to any of them. Like Fitzpatrick could be Henley, Straka could be Rose, Harry Hall can be anybody at 65 or whatever you want to go there, 66. So that's the starting point right there. And so only thing that tells me is just so people know, like for sure, the Hovland factor is he's going to be the guy when people go to the 8K that they land on for, whether he still gets held in check at like 15, 16%, he's definitely going to be the guy that clicks into this lineup because there's no other variation. People aren't going to make the Rahm down to Bryson move. People aren't going to be able to get from Rahm to Scotty. So the only other interesting thing, Pat, would be to build the Scotty version and like take out Rahm, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Take out Rahm. What's the Rahm Hovland 2v2 if you just go Scotty? Not even close. 4,700. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, but I think that basically that turns Hovland into Wrighton or Penge or one of those guys. It may even be more than that. Let's see.
This one's close.
Oh no, $4,700. That's not good.
Well, I found the McNeely version that also leaves the same 200 that we just had.
Okay.
And it becomes Scotty. Then going down in order, it's Henley, Fitzpatrick, Straka, Hall, McNeely. And you can see there where your Henley can be other guys, but that one projects like 3 or 4 points off of the original chalk version we found. These to me, everyone will have their different stuff, but I definitely think that's the case. So
I think it's going to be, I honestly think it's very difficult to play Scotty this week with a lineup that you can look at and be like, yeah, it looks all right. Like this is about as good as you're going to get with the Scotty lineup. Because you said you could play Scotty and Rahm. How does that even work?
Well, just going from what we're talking about already, if you go Scotty Rahm and you go down to, I'm just going to use like popular names I've heard, for example, Penn,
Hall.
McNeely, and Hall. What does that leave us? Does this mean it's right? No, I'm just saying why people are coming. That leaves you 60. You can put Spawn in there.
You put Minwoo in there.
Whoever you want. I'm going to put Spawn because that's what the projections show. It's about 8 points off of the lineups we just had. It's not going to be a popular starting point of Scheffler and Rahm. I'm just showing you why I think Scheffler is easy to get to, because once you take out Rahm, you can upgrade. You only have to upgrade 2 of these guys, and it's easy to pick 2 because people are fine with the other versions we just showed you. So
these are the 2 guys I like at the bottom right here. Kirk and Glover.
What about Taylor?
I like Nick Taylor as well. There, let's throw those 3 in. We'll build it like old school Masters DK lineups from 2015. Where you use these guys who are pretty good at the low 6s and just load up at the top.
Interesting thing, Kirk, Glover, and Taylor are on the PM and in the later PM portion. So they get out earlier.
So this is a Rory lineup.
So I like the Rory call. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So the other guys that are a part of that. So where is Rory here? Come on, Rorington. Show your face on my tee sheet.
Ooh, you could go Scotty McNeely, and McNeely's off late, and then you get Scotty as the only guy you need from that first wave.
I would go Wrighton or McKibben. I wouldn't go with McNeely. I just don't like McNeely. But you could probably do Rory. You can figure it out this way. So we could try something like this. If we just want to stick like PM only.
We're only $200 off of McKibben. I mean, off of Scott. Yeah, I guess you don't want Scotty, but let's just
let's just try to build it out this way. We can go Fleetwood. Who is the other guy who's out there? I mean, it's probably Bryson. Rory, Thomas, Fleetwood, English. English is another one from down there as well. I think a lot of people are betting him to win.
Let's go on English, yeah, and see if we can upgrade one of those 6K guys.
Well, he is a 6K guy.
Or I
He's
guess
64.
We would be able to get off of the 2 6K guys, but you like Kirk and Glover, so that would answer that.
Yeah, let's throw Justin Thomas into this one because he's a part of that group as well. And then let's get rid of Kirk. And now we're at $8,400. So Hovland, when does Neiman?
Oh, Hovland, man. Hovland goes off in the afternoon. So does Justin Thomas. This is a sick lineup.
Yeah, this is the PM lineup.
Yeah, Kirk. Oh, I got a better version than that.
Oh, one sec. Just one sec.
Better, but I mean, like, this is it. Well, what do you have here? What's going on?
Minwoo and Henley are out there too in that same spot.
Oh, you went with Glover, Nick Taylor. I like that better, actually. I thought you were keeping your Kirk play. I mean, we have the same lineup. I just had Taylor or Kirk. It doesn't matter to me. I like both of those. My point was what you said. It's you get Rory, Fleetwood, Hovland, JT, and 2 punts. They're all off super late, which means out early. And yeah, that's a good spot there.
Yeah, and this is going to be the unpopular way to build.
Yeah.
And you can even fiddle around with that more if you want to. So we'll bring that one back up. You can turn... I mean, this could also be a Bryson lineup. You could play Rory Bryson.
What do we got to drop in that? Hovland chalk.
Hovland down to Henley. Oh, no, Henley just misses by 1. You can turn him into...
Spieth.
Spieth a part of this late wave?
Well, he's going, 3. Yeah, play Spieth with Bryson there. That's money. Projects even better, too.
I don't even see... there he is. Yeah, he's playing with Ludwig and Victor. Yeah, just do that. I like Spieth this week.
That's a crazy lineup. Rory, Bryson, Spieth, and JT. And you just need Glover and Nick Taylor to come through?
And hell, you don't even need to do that. Just in this one, we'll have some fun. We'll keep the glove in that one, and we'll turn Taylor back into Kirk just for this one, just to mix it up a little bit since I'm playing these lineups. And that maxes out our salary. So Bryson, Rory, JT. Basically, the people like Rory, but they like Scotty and Rahm more. So he's getting squeezed a little bit, it feels like. No one likes Bryson. No one likes JT. People aren't playing Spieth. But if this ends up being the right weather wave, if you're going to build the PM, these are the sorts of guys that I'd want to be around.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said try a Xander Fleetwood lineup.
Is Xander out late as well?
Xander is out at, what's he in the 9K range this week? Yeah, Xander is out at 10, like 9:58. He's out at like Scotty's time.
Yeah, he's an AM guy.
There's a lot of late people to the chat from the weather. Do you have the timestamp on that?
Yeah, the timestamp of the weather is 1:44 of the show.
Yeah.
We went over it all. You can just rewind to there. And here, I'll do everyone a solid right now. I will put in the super forecast to Thursday and Friday into the chat right now. If you want to go look at it, it will be in the newsletter later on with the updated weather report as well. Someone says, feel like Penge, McNeely, and Hall, 3 popular public picks. All 3 of them miss the cut. That's interesting.
If I liked one only, it's Hall.
I like Hall too.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's a lock to make the cut by any stretch of the imagination.
No, nobody. I mean, nobody is really, but there's a million options around these guys. You know who I think is kind of interesting, actually? Well, how much is this guy? Weird tee time, kind of right in the middle of everything we just talked about. But I think Ricky is somewhat interesting this week.
I do not think that he's
playing better golf right now.
Yeah, then maybe you should play in the fucking Barracuda.
Well, 15, 16, 7th, 36, and 18th, and 5 of his last 6. And then, he's probably fine. I think he came 6th here in 2019. He's definitely playing better lately. He's super cheap. No one's talking about him. I think it's just another way you could go this week when there's more popular options right there that you could use. I guess
Penge, Hall, and McNeely all to miss the cut. I just played this on Underdog, pays 10-1.
Penge, Hall, McNeely, yeah. And you influenced him. That didn't take much. The chat.
Yeah,
Walter.
Like I said, I've been winning on WNBA, so I got money to blow through, Tambo.
It's perfect. They know they're getting it back off you. This is amazing. What do you want to check out now? What about if we just ignore the waves altogether?
Well, I wanted to do to build in those little sets like I was talking about. And even in the chat, they said, I thought that the PM Thursday was the worst of it. That's not what I'm seeing. And if you see it as well, here, I can share the tab. We can share this tab. We can throw that up. Does that work on the screen?
Should.
Kind of. Let's see.
Definitely works. Yeah, it's you got it highlighted. I can see it perfectly.
All right, there we go. So there's Thursday. So you can see that the range that I have kind of covered right now, what I'm seeing in the super forecast is the worst of it. And that is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now, the very early on in the day does look really good, like when Harrington and McKibben and all those guys are out there. Then it starts getting bad at kind of 10 a.m. where they'll be finishing up their rounds. But that's when Scotty and Straka and Fox and all those guys start their rounds. As we mentioned before, once you go to Friday, the PM does get it a little bit better. But as you mentioned, yeah, it's worse for the guys in the AM on Friday, but it's not markedly worse, and it's not 35 mile per hour winds. It's gusts up to 20. You said these guys playing this all the time.
Yeah, I think it's just what everyone's saying is what you are looking at now is seeing sort of it's changed quite a bit. I guess from what people originally saw, because everyone assumes Scotty Rahm in the best tee times, but I think they're more concerned about that Friday afternoon, right? Like they're looking at it from the perspective of Thursday's kind of not great for anybody, but it's a little bit better for the first time, like the guys going out first thing in the morning, but they're looking at that Friday you just had up and saying, I want my guys Friday afternoon in that clean spot.
I get that too, but it's not even like it's a completely clean spot at the same time. Like there's still rain in the forecast. There's gusts up to 15. It's a bit lower consistently. But one of the things that I look for in wind is the difference between consistent wind and the gaps in the gust. That's where the real problems come in, because it becomes impossible to figure out what the wind is doing.
Yeah.
Like if the gap is like this one, it's like 14 miles per hour up to 20. It's a 6 mile per hour difference. If that's really all it's going to be, not that big of a deal.
That's what I was trying to bring up earlier. Like to me, it's just not.
But but midday on Thursday, where it's 15 miles per hour consistently with gusts up to 31, that's double the wind speed. So you might be off by a club. If you're off by a club here, there's out of bounds behind a whole bunch of these greens.
I also think there's like a bunch of interesting little, tidbits I like to call them, but like the Penge thing, super early that he's out. So people like that. He's a high value in projections. He crushed last week, but we've already talked about it. This is not last week. This is this week. And then also a guy like Nick Taylor is the exact same price, maybe still gets some of the ownership for sure. I'm just saying at that number, just to note it, he's super late. So he's the opposite end of that spectrum, but maybe that works in his favor because of what you've just talked about. And that's a guy that's right there at a similar price point. So, exact same price point to be exact. So
yeah, Nick Taylor is out at 3:20 p.m. on Thursday. So that should be missing the worst of it that way. And then he's out at 10:20 on Friday. And by 10:20, you're into the good weather.
That's what I mean. And so like right away, everyone will just auto go to the other side. Who knows? We'll see how that actually shakes out with ownership. And I don't think any of these guys are going to be like 10% plus. I'm just saying in the higher stake stuff, you see certain guys move up the board, and that's something I could see happening. I do think there's interesting builds that blend those two opposite of the spectrum. Like Rory, if anyone's just building AM PM, is going to assume he's in the bad wave. But like you said, he may actually end up working out from where he's at, not to mention one of the best golfers in the world. So there's other factors to it than just ride the wave and run it out there.
Yeah. All right. Where do you want to go next?
The one thing people did just bring up, and I think is interesting to talk about, like Ryan says it, how nice are the balance builds? We've shown it, Pat. Like not a lot of people are building balanced this week, right? You can just see it. And I don't know if you have a wave you could necessarily do it within, and I didn't even look at that yet that far, but what would you say? I would say Bryson down to at least down to Koepka. Obviously, we have that pocket in the upper sevens where we've talked about with Henley, Fitz, Rose, Decky, Straka, etc. Maybe Decky doesn't even get played there, but I think there's only in the eights up to 9,700. It's what? Fleetwood, Hovland, and then maybe some late steam to Morikawa and Xander at 87 and 97. That's how I see it, at least.
Yeah, so I just threw up Xander, Hatton, Lowry, Rise, Straka, Henley. I need $100 somewhere to try to figure this out. But if you go Lowry to Bobby Mack, it makes a whole lot more sense. Lowry to Bobby Mack, and then you can take. We still have $200 left over for whatever the hell you want to do with this. At 71, I think Fox is there. This would be like the generic boilerplate version of this lineup. Xander, Hatton, McIntyre, Fox, Straka, Henley. I think is the type of. I think that's what they mean when they say like balanced type build. Now, if you want to start with Fleetwood, obviously you save some money. Or if you want to start with Lowry instead of Xander, you can get that bottom up a little bit. But honestly, if your cheapest player is Ryan Fox or Seb Straka, I don't think that you're sweating the bottom end of your lineup.
No, agreed. And this still has can be Henley, Fitz, however you want. This still projects really good. So this is kind of my point and part of what I talked about earlier with adding. It's not just for balanced builds, but you'll definitely get some different builds when you sort of land in this realm. I think any lineup really with 2 or less 7K guys, we've got 3 here still, but it's definitely still different. Any lineup with 2 or less 7K guys is going to be where you can get a little bit different. Most lineups are going to mix in this 7K range. Was there any 5K guy that you actually liked? Yeah, one that I'll say for sure that I know without digging in. I'm not done, or I've got so many lineups to build tonight. But Grazerman, sticking with the theme of everything we talked about in reverse, liked him last week, not because I think it was a perfect setup for that course as much as how good he's been. I will give him a leeway on a 70-70 last week to not get through and then come out. He's still ready to go. Like we saw, I'm not putting him in this talent level, but I'm saying we've seen Morikawa miss a cut and then come out and win the Open. Grazerman is not that, but I'm just saying he's been playing great golf. He didn't shoot 81s last week or something. He's not completely off. He just missed the cut. It sucks.
Yeah, he had a slightly poor driving week, gained a stroke and a half on approach in the 2 rounds. I mean, that's what I want to do here. His ball striking has been good. He's been good around the greens in general. And we know that he's spike putts. I'm kind of with you on Grazerman. So I'm going to enter this one just because, if I'm going to build it on the show, I got to enter it.
Of course.
But let's start building with some of those guys not necessarily in mind, but let's throw up on the screen at least some guys that we do like from down there. Oh, I stopped sharing the screen. I'm all over the place here.
Don't throw up on the screen either. That would not be good.
There we go. Bring that back up. Enter this stupid lineup. Then we go to Grazerman.
The thing about the Grazerman note, I just say quickly, is like, see what your average is right there. It's on the screen, 8820 for those watching or listening. If it's 8820. This is my point where you can almost go 1 7K guy and skip the others. Like this is the thing I think a lot of people will do is what you're doing right now. They're going to roll with one and then add more because
I'm just throwing up the guys that I could see myself potentially using onto the screen.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you can definitely build a stars and scrubs doing this, or you can use it to your advantage in the fact that we know balanced options aren't going to be played a ton. Like, you could still get Rahm and have 8,500 left in this example. You can do a bunch of different stuff. If you start with Xander, 8,600 left, but you can definitely build in a more balanced build that uses a 5K and keeps you away from that pocket of Henley down to whatever. Like, I really like setting up something like this for starters.
So these would be the guys that I'd be looking at. Grazerman, Wrighton, Jordan Smith, Nico, and Matt McCarty from the 5K. I would feel somewhat comfortable with those guys. I don't think that you need to play them by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that those are guys that aren't that dissimilar from some of the other ones. I obviously like Kirk, Taylor, and Glover more from the low sixes, but if you want to spread it out a little bit, that's the way we can do it. So let's try that then. Let's take Grazerman and we'll do it. And we'll do what you just said to do. So we'll throw Grazerman into a lineup, and now we have 8,800. Now, do you want to do the high 6, low 7 guy and jump up, or do you want to try to build the balance build this way? Because the balance build this way looks something like Lowry, Bobby Mack, Hatton, Victor, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, that's interesting right there. No 7K, no 6K, no 10K and above. But you have legit like Lowry, Mack, Hovland, Hatton, Thomas. Those are all in the mix. Definitely guys that can get the job done.
Oh, for sure. What do you feel about how do you feel about Neiman this week? It feels like this is the first major in 3 years no one has mentioned his name.
Yeah.
That's when he strikes. When you completely. That's why he always wins on live. You forget about him, he wins. You put some emphasis on him, then all of a sudden he kind of blows up.
Can we play a live lineup and add Bryson, Neiman, and Louis O?
Oh man, Louis O he's hurting right now.
Yeah, this build is sick. I like this one because there's no 6K guy, no 7K guy at all, and you get a bunch of guys that could win it. It sucks leaving Rory and Scotty out. I get it, and Rom even, but I don't think you're that afraid, because the other thing is those Rory Scotty builds lean into. This is where I was talking about leverage. Nobody knows what's going to happen until it happens. You don't have the front of the puzzle until the week ends. You don't know what it's supposed to look like. But when you're building it, this is definitely a way that you could get there in more ways than one, because if Scotty and Rory aren't needed, or if the guys that are down low that go with them bust up too often, you've got a lineup that fades it all while not getting stupid. This is not stupid. There's 5 legit guys and a Grazerman piece we talked for 2 minutes on that we think is capable. So I definitely think this is the way to go.
You know who I have? So I'm going to put a lineup up on the screen right now. Oh, it didn't work. Damn it. 1 sec. Give me 1 second. I'm going to surprise you with it. And you're going to be like, Pat, that's going to win $1 million.
Does it have Jason sniffing the coke rack in there?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Kevin Yu is also another guy that I like at $5,800. He'd be the sixth of the guys that I like. So we'll throw him in. I like him every major, and he sucks at every major, but that's just me. Okay, ready for this?
It's got you, Grazerman. Who else?
No, I didn't even need the extra bucks. I could have put anyway. We'll leave $100 on the table. No big deal. Okay, here we are. Grazerman, Wrighton, Kevin Yu, Tom Kim, Rory Scotty.
Tom Kim, wow.
I really like Tom Kim this week, despite his split with the caddy.
What? Scotty Rory?
Scotty Rory.
Yeah. I think you got to cut off a 5K guy and figure it out.
Well, here, I'll do that. I'll take Wrighton up to Nick Taylor. Then we lose one of the 5K guys. Easy game. Done for you there, Tambo.
The Pat Mayo logic of if we just move up to us, and technically we have a 6K guy now. Yes, that is true. But I mean, like from an overall build type, I would definitely be picking between Scotty and Rory. And then I would be figuring it out with 2. Like I think there's an interesting one to be had with, say, Rory, you, Grazerman, and having almost 9K left on the table. That to me is intriguing, because then you can get like a Lowry, Bobby Mack, JT, for example. That's an interesting lineup.
Rory, you, Grazerman.
With Lowry, Bobby Mack, and JT.
Oh, yeah, I actually like that. That's nice. JT is going to shoot. JT is going to win or be 88 over par after round 1. And then fire on him on showdown in round 2.
Yeah. Insert the Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible. That's anything is possible at this type of event. But I just think that build is a little bit interesting because it's no 6Ks, no 7s, and 8K that's not Victor Hovland, while still utilizing great options like Lowry, McIntyre. Like when you can make double flips, like I talk about this all the time in Mastermind, but it's like a double flip here would be 7K is popular and we know it. 9K, people can't get to 1 usually outside of Fleetwood, let alone 2. You're able to go no 7Ks, 2 9Ks, still have Rory, still have 5K plays we like, and not feel like you overextended yourself. This is the way to get different without being stupid. That's kind of the way I look at it.
All right, I want to build one more lineup. If you guys have questions for Tambo, probably not me, but for Tambo, I'd put them in the chat right now, and we'll end up getting to them. This was my favorite style of lineup that we built. I don't love Hovland, so I'd want to take him out. But other than that, I want to rejig this to have it work for me, that I can play it in some tournaments kind of thing. So we got to get rid of Hovland, and this is all PM guys right now. Don't think we need to have it, but someone around that range. So who are some other options from there? You have Ludwig, Spieth, Hovland. I'd want to get Henley into this just because I like Henley a lot, and he's a part of that PM style wave. That means we can take Thomas up if we wanted to McIntyre or Hatton. Are they playing in that later? Hatton isn't he? And Minwoo is. How much is Minwoo?
Hatton and Mac are both in that spot, so this lineup can be flipped both ways in that position you just talked about.
I think I like Hatton more than Bobby Mack. I like this lineup better than the one with Victor and Thomas. I feel like the Victor Thomas one is probably a much better big field GPP lineup because there's 2 guys. I really do think that although I've bet on Henley to win, a lot of that is odds dependent. I do feel like if we're sitting here and one of these guys is an open champion, that it's probably going to be Victor or Thomas over Henley or Hatton.
Yeah, certainly likely. That's for sure.
Where was Hideki? Was he early or late? He was early, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
I got a lineup though that I was going to read off to you.
Well,
this is
don't keep me waiting.
Well, this is like the chat talked about it, and it's good. It goes to one of the questions. Said thoughts on Hideki and Cantlay. We always build this lineup anyway, so I like landing on it, and then we can take questions. But the guys that feel too cheap, if you start with Xander, who is, and Hideki goes in this for sure, you can get in with Morikawa at 8,700, JT at 8,500,
Harry Hall,
Cantlay at 8,100, less than average, and you land on Straka at 7,400, or Burns, whoever you want. My point is that lineup is loaded.
Do we think that Patrick Cantlay is undervalued or underpriced?
Well, you can put Neiman in instead. You got $100.
There we go. Let's do that.
Best in the world.
Best player in the world for $8,200. Easy game. Best
live player in the world. Yeah. So
that's actually pretty good.
That's, to me, that when you're talking about balanced, it's like those are just, they can't price everyone in the same area because of whatever else. And so it's just like technically you can make the argument, and then you can flip flop it. Like what happens if Straka just becomes Hall? And then do you get Xander up to Rahm, who is a misprice? Yes.
I mean, is he a misprice?
Sure.
Why is everyone all in on Rahm?
Rahm would be, I guess, to most people, what they're considering a misprice as compared to $1,100 less than Rory, much less, 3,800 or whatever it is, less than Scheffler. But I get it. Like I'm just saying that's what clearly the ownership says. People are considering him as the best spot.
If you're talking about the most legitimately mispriced person based on their performance this year comparatively to everyone else, the answer is Rory. He should be a whole lot closer to Scotty than he is.
So we got to move Rahm to him. So let's take Neiman out and go Rory.
So we take out Neiman and Xander and go to Rory?
Here you go. This one fits too. This is actually better. It's Rory, Morikawa, Thomas, and it lands you on Decky, Straka, Hall.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a perfect 2v2. Rory and Hall equals Xander and Neiman.
Yeah. And that is more correct if you're right. Yeah, why is Rory that much cheaper than Scotty? And we have the same pricing sitting in front of us for the rest of the way when you have to pick 6 guys. So this lineup severely underpriced versus what it could be.
I like it. Hopefully the weather works in our favor and we win all the money with it.
Is there even weather with this lineup that goes in our favor? It would be...
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. We can try to figure it out. Like I said, if you build in blocks, that's the best way to try to take advantage of it. Because right now, like I said, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. looks like the worst time. When they tee off tomorrow, and I'm doing my early morning stream, and we're watching it at 4 a.m., it's like, oh no, the guys first out are getting the worst of it. But that's not going to surprise me.
Yeah, that's what could end up happening. But
they're on the fucking North Sea, man. Like we live next to the ocean. My house is what? 200 meters from the ocean. I walk outside my door sometimes and it's just howling wind for no reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what people are looking at just to think. Anyway, the main point is a wave always makes people feel more comfortable, right? If they can get to it, they just, they're looking, checking weather all day. If this just goes my way, then everything will work. Like, yes, all true factors, but things can change quickly. So that's definitely something.
Okay. You want to take some questions?
Yeah, you bet.
Well, let's take some questions here. Let's go to the chat. It's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter right now. If you want to get in there, smash the like, sub to the channel. If you just showed up, give me your favorite 5K play in the comment section after you subscribe and turn on the notifications to the show. That gets you into a draw for a PXG driver. Additionally, give me your favorite first-round leader bet as well. The only one I got in so far is the glove. Lucas Glover going in that PM wave. I'll have more on a live stream and in the newsletter. That's free later on today. Can we get a James Hahn? Because he's in the Barracuda? Yes, you can. You can do that. It's fine.
I see you over there eating those chips. You remember that one?
No.
When he called the guy out for eating the chips?
No, I do not remember that.
Oh, gosh. I got to bring this back. Somebody got to back me up in the chat, man. He pointed the dude out. And he said, I hear you over there eating those chips or whatever when he was trying to putt and blamed it on him. So, yeah, that's a good one to bring back. What else we got?
We got Ryan asked, thoughts on Cantlay. He has an insanely high ceiling. I guess the answer is, does he have an insanely high ceiling?
I don't know, but we've been saying Morikawa does forever, and we haven't seen that either.
Morikawa has 2 major championships.
We're talking about lately. We're talking about what have you done for me lately?
Sure, and Morikawa, listen, over the past few months, Morikawa has been kind of bad, but at least Morikawa's upside was always second place. Cantlay is just struggling.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing is that he's got like 2 12ths and a 4th in a timeline that Morikawa has 1/8 place at, what was it, the Rocket Mortgage Classic or something?
The Rocket Mortgage, yeah.
Yeah, before, like the couple months thing or whatever with Morikawa, I said 5 and Buddy corrected me to 6 or 7. This has been months. This has been half a year since Morikawa has actually shown up. So now he's priced at 8,700. I know we just made that statement, but yeah, that's the breakdown. There has been some upside for Cantlay. It's just whether or not we get it here.
Yeah, how did he do? Because I've made this point throughout the course of the week. I'm not the only one. Talking about PGA National, how that it was a crossover in 2019. Whether that means anything, I have no idea. But just to make note of that, I did notice that the Truist this year basically had a PGA National leaderboard. If you go take a look at that, so maybe I think Cantlay did really well there. Yeah, he was 4th.
Yeah. If you look at like the Cantlay thing, 12th at the Travelers, 12th at Memorial, 4th at the Truist, 13th at the Heritage, 12th at the Players, 5th at the Genesis. It's not a bad season as much as people are like, wow, this is horrible. It's not.
Last time Berger was good too. T11 at the Truist.
Another guy from the old Cognizant, old Honda.
Yeah, that's why. Listen to this leaderboard at the Truist and see if this just reminds you of PGA National. Straka, Thomas, Lowry, Cantlay, Fleetwood, Bridgman, who came second this year at PGA National, Cam Young, who came second 2 years ago there, Rory, who's won it, Jagger, Keith Mitchell, who has won there, Connors, Berger, Harris English. Ricky Fowler, who won PGA National.
Did you say Cam Young?
I did say Cam Young.
Oh, baby, the shipper just pumped it in. You can get Fleetwood, Lowry, JT, Cantlay, Straka, Young.
Okay, one second here. Give me this again.
He needs it now, guys. It's like the crack hit. This guy's, give me that, please. I'll stop.
Give it to me. Cam Young, Justin Thomas.
Yeah, it's 2 9Ks are Lowry and Fleetwood.
Yeah.
2
okay, it's
8Ks.
already a loser because we don't have the winner of this tournament.
Correct. 2 8Ks are Thomas and Cantlay, and then the 2 7s are Straka and Cam Young.
Oh, there we go. How many times can I win $1 million this week?
At least 2.
At least 2? Okay.
You're not in the mega, so at least 1.
I'll save that one for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Imagine trying to pick from all these lineups on what the actual one would be and plug it in. It's impossible.
Thoughts on Siwoo, Kim, and Sungjae being too low? Thinking Siwoo safer than Sungjae, but I could see a Sungjae top 5. I mean, I know you're playing Sungjae. I'm not going anywhere fucking near that. I should go bet him to miss the cut.
At some point, I do have to jump off. Is this the actual spot? Now everyone's going to load up because I say that. But, man, it has not. It's been – if all that shit I talk about Morikawa, I can't say a damn thing about Sungjae. It has not been good, man. It's just been downhill from there everywhere. But What if the around the green game he's so good at? It's important here, Pat.
PGA National Comp.
Oh my God, how much is Sungjae this week?
He's like 67 or something.
6,900.
I prefer Siwoo. I prefer in this order: Tom Kim, Siwoo, Gap, Sungjae.
Man, a price so nice. Got to say it twice. 6,900 for my boy Sungjae M. Fleetwood can't lay. What's the? I might just play it straight up like that. I don't even see any upgrades to this one.
Adam Scott, Sungjae seem like good pivots. All the popular guys in the low 7s and 6s. I don't know if Scott's going to be wildly unpopular. I like Adam Scott a lot this week, but I figured he'd be moderately owned. I'm still going to play him. I'm not playing Sungjae. Fuck
yeah,
that.
we didn't talk a lot about him, but you ended up mentioning it. But I think for sure, guys that were like at least somewhat overlooked was Adam Scott was one that we mentioned didn't go to. Ben Griffin was mentioned in the chat a couple times. He's definitely one that best player in the world besides Scotty Scheffler for a minute there, for at least a minute, and Neiman of course, but Neiman's got the live asterisk. So yeah, I don't know. There is some guys going overlooked that even further than we talked about the obvious ones like Brooks Koepka, Neiman, Bryson, some of those dead zones. Those guys are getting mentioned enough that I think they'd be good to get into the pool.
Thoughts on leaving some salary off the board for lineup / fading the 9K range? I don't think you need. I mean, fade the 9K range all you want. I don't think that you need to actively go out of your way to leave money on the table. There's enough options out there.
Yeah, tons of options. I know I talked about this a little bit yesterday. The interesting one this week would actually be to get yourself different and play like a win equity game. Is if you just truly think Rory is better than Scotty, you could take some lineups and just drop Scotty to Rory and keep the Scotty construction with the Rory pivot because it's Scotty versus Rory. Like clearly that can just be a 1v1. If all the other stuff comes through, most Rory lineups won't have the guys because they'll all have upgrades in them that could end up busting you in the Scotty spot. So that would be the most unique way I would think about just different level to it of going to be unique versus I'm not dropping Xander Schauffele down to Sergio Garcia this week and hoping for the best. I'm not doing that.
Someone said Tom McKibben in the chat for first round leader. I just didn't like his odds. He's like 80-1.
Anything going on with Tom McKibben this week is probably priced in, but on DraftKings would be the spot to play him.
Yeah.
Because he's cheap enough. If you're playing a wave, whatever it might be, all those factors, it's not just because he's seen the course a million times or whatever, but it's definitely that would be the angle to look at for him. I don't think the first round leader odds aren't going to be great based on everything that they are and the fact that they're first round leader odds.
Justin Thomas in the chat, or just JT. I assume that's JT watching from Portrush right now.
Yeah.
Kawa will not garner any ownership. People hate him, and his game has been a mess recently with the caddy carousel. I think he's like Justin Thomas and Kawa in that range to me make the most sense as the low-owned pivot plays. Like instead of playing Bobby Mack, Fleetwood, Lowry, and Hatton, all those guys just above him, if you just drop down to those guys, there's really no difference except you get 150 ownership.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a bold stand on it, I think. I don't know if it's bold or not, but I think Kawa gets the ownership for sure. I think like we're talking 15. I'm not saying 20%.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying I think he gets the late steam tonight.
I could see it more with JT.
Yeah, possible as well. I mean, he's not far off, but I think they both come in at like 13, 15. I don't think it's super ownership. I'm just saying I don't think it's single digits like some people are trying to track for or think. It's not going to be as low owned as one might think. And I especially think Morikawa gets the steam.
There is two players above $8,000 I currently have projected for lower than 5% ownership. Do you know who those two players are?
Above 8K?
About 8K and above. I have two guys below 5%.
Are they both live guys?
They are both live guys.
Yeah. Is it? And it's got to be Neiman and Brooks.
It is Neiman and Brooks.
Yeah.
Listen, Neiman at 4% is a play, man. That might be the best play on the board. If you're playing Hovland and you have like 50 lineups, you got a bunch of Hovland, take half those lineups and turn them into Neiman.
Yeah, not against it.
Like that seems crazy to me. And I've been pretty anti-team Neiman in all of this stuff, but now that we're playing Victor Hovland at 17% and Neiman at 4%, that's the time to play Neiman. Not when he's fucking 35 or 25-1 to win the Masters.
Also, they tee off at pretty similar times. So it's like even if you're playing any way, like for your point you made, like take some of your Hovland lineups and shift them. Even if you're playing Hovland lineups that end up in a wave stack or a range that you're trying to peg him for, I think you can just go to Neiman at $100 less and you'll get 1/3 or half the ownership.
This question, bottom two, Hall and Rosner or Wyndham Clark and Novak?
They're trying to suck you in, Pat. They want more scoops.
Listen, if you want to play Wyndham Clark, legit, no one is playing him now.
Yeah. I like the Hall Rosner side for sure.
Yeah, I like the Hall Rosner side too. I like Kirk Glover better, but just whoever you're two, we've went over the 5K guys, we've went over the 6K guys. I'll make a list of them in the newsletter as well. If you're just looking for the cheat sheet, I'll just put them in a list, make it easy on everyone. Here are the guys that I'm using from down there. That might means you can fade them completely. That means you can just pivot off them or use them. Whatever you want to do with that information, you can have it. Aaron Rye as first round leader. I don't mind that actually. I like Rye this week, but I don't know how to use him, because he feels like he's too expensive on DraftKings, because he's essentially the same as, he's probably safer than Tom Kim, but I like Tom Kim a little bit more.
Yeah, he's 6,900. I think he's fine. It's like you can play. What is the real difference down there? And for what we're talking about, if you play him versus some of the other guys, I think it's fine.
It's just that there's certain guys that I like slightly better, and they just tend to like. I like Fox a lot more than Rye, and he's $200 more. I like Tom Kim marginally more, but he's $300 cheaper, kind of thing. Maybe just mix them in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any love for Carlos Ortiz?
Not really, no.
No, not really for me, but listen, he showed out at Oakmont. I thought it was, I don't hate it. I'll throw that out.
Most of these guys that people are talking about, and we get all these questions like, any thoughts on this guy? And we put a name out there to start. I mean, you're looking for confirmation bias, and I understand that, and that's perfect, but we can make a pro for him. We can make a con for him. Here's the facts. DFS matters. When you're playing DFS, which is what we're talking about right now, unless you're taking a stand on him, like, don't build your one Carlos Ortiz lineup and then be surprised, shocked when it doesn't get there for you because you built one version. You took a little shot on this guy. Get all in. Get up, not necessarily all in, but if you have 5 lineups, put them in 2 or 3 of them. And then if your Ortiz stance is right, at least you have outs or options to make it work. If you're playing 150 lineups, take 10%, 8 to 10%. Get enough lineups that you can't be mad if, well, I knew Ortiz was going to have a good week, but I just put the wrong guys around him. Yeah, you built one Ortiz lineup. Shocked it didn't work out. Like, that's the key about these options when we talk about them. So just, if you like them, play them. Make sure you play enough of them so it matters.
Let's see. Tim Allen on Twitter says, That's not what he said. But when doing weather stacks, what would be your cutoff time to differentiate AM, PM? I guess my point on this is that I actually think there's 4 waves that go out, because everyone goes off one, where we're used to seeing 2, the AM or the PM, because there's continuous play off T number 1. Just break it down into quadrants. Those are really your T stacks.
Yeah, I'm saying it like you always say it, the pockets, right? And you just described it.
That's what I'm saying. We got basically 3-hour pockets, because the first tee time is at 6:35. The last tee time is at 4:50. So that's a long day as we're getting out there. That's 10 hours. So cut it into every 2.5 hours, like up or down of those. So the first tee stack, if you really wanted to jam in McKibben and Cam Smith and Jason Day, you could take them up to 9 o'clock. So up to the Wrighton, Marty Cordova, Adrian Satier tee time. Or if you want to start with that tee time, you go back an hour, up an hour and a half. Like, that's how you have to kind of gauge the tee times this week at the Open. It's unique in terms of tee time stacking. That I think is another fun element to the Open Championship.
That's why we love it. No, this is a great major, like you said, and that's just part of it. But that's why it makes a lot of sense for when we're talking from a DFS perspective of stacking waves. It's not just weather related, like people always assume. It's the big possibility of it, but there's also wave advantages to the fact that they play in them, and you can get naturally unique by being on some of the players that others aren't on, just because you risked it and went for a wave for whatever your reasoning was.
Any thoughts on DJ? Historically good at the Open. Just listen to you. Can't be on everyone. I can't be on DJ here. If you want to be on him, go for it.
I'll have some DJ shares in there for sure. But I'll play enough of them that I'll get them in there. So yeah, I like DJ.
Brooks has negative strokes gained in his last 20 rounds. Easy fade. I mean, everyone's fading him. So yeah, maybe it's too easy of a fade.
Yeah, these are the guys that just end up showing up and tilting you big time. But it's, again, would you play him enough, and would you have enough to get there with him? That's how you got to think about it. And that's, to Pat's previous point there, just said it, was you can't play everybody, and so you are going to have to pick your spots and then take your stands that way. If he fits your mold for that, great. But if you're already playing 30% Hovland, do you have room for Brooks, or how does that shake out with that ownership and that price point when you land on that in your lineups? That's something you have to factor in and make part of your process when you're building.
Do you guys use sportsbook odds in the outright top 5, top 10 markets to influence your DFS plays? I don't, because they're generally baked into the DFS pricing. Like you said, you really notice it this week, be it with McNeely and Hall, that they're so off from their pricing that everyone kind of noticed it.
Yeah, I saw the question. My answer was going to be yes and no. We do, because we use projections, ownership, and all the stuff, the pricing that's baked in from those odds, but not particular. I'm not going to line up my lineup to say, let me check the top 20 odds and make sure all my guys have this exactly. Some do, I think, and I'm sure it works, especially in the higher stakes, cash games, things like that, just to make it really safe. You can get the highest made cut percentage. You can get the highest win equity, whatever you want to put into your lineups, but it's not something that I'm grilling it down finite like that, but we're technically using them because they're all baked in.
All right, I'm doing something crazy here. Ready?
What else is new?
I don't know if this is true or not, but the guy in the chat says it is true, so I'm going with him. Kent Davies, you better not be lying to me. Yeah, he's going with Lee Hodges, first round leader at the Barracuda. He said the real win split is the AM/PM at the Barracuda.
Oh man, this guy will just bet anything you tell him to bet right now.
That's a part of the live show. We're firing here, right?
I love it. No, I love it. It's good.
So I'm gonna need a couple of you guys to go sign up for Underdog using code Mayo right now, so I'm not destitute.
WNBA money just flush. That's the toilet over there. Just if you guys heard it, this is all going down the end here.
Any love for Finau? Not
Mr.
really.
Wind Hitter, Tony Finau?
Yeah, Mr. Wind. He was like the king of wind forever, and then he has not been basically anything for the past year.
Like,
ever since those allegations about him owing money came up, he's kind of sucked.
Those have been around for quite a while too, so I don't know if that's what it was, but because even when he was winning, when people said he sucks and then he went back to back or whatever, those were coming up big time then because Buddy wanted to get his paycheck. But yeah, it's been bad for Mr. Tony Finau. So for some of those Dustin Johnson lineups, maybe he shows up together. I put them both in there on the same spot.
Do you like Cantlay Penge or Hovland Wrighton better? Actually, I Cantlay Wrighton better. I know it leaves a little bit more money. That would be the way I would play it.
I like that call too. I was going to kind of flip it some way, shape, or form. Cantlay and somebody else is what I was going to roll with.
Oh, good. Walter's doing a thing where he's quoting my article back to me as if I don't know what this is because I wrote it. I always it's like when Cuss comes on and uses my information to tell me what's going on.
10th to 15th. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is a very specific thing that I had fun with it. Yeah. Just because it's a weird trend that happened, but no, I'm not putting anything into that.
Yeah.
That means they're playing well. That's good news.
Typically it's like they're over there and they're playing, but also good players that are over there end up still playing good and showing up. Like it may not be anything to do with the Scottish Open, and it may be to do with just that factor itself.
Thoughts on Pendrith? I know Jeff liked him. He's not on my radar.
Yeah, we'll see what the bottom of the board looks like when I get finished with it. But I would say right now he's probably in the mix. He's, I think, 6,500 this week, if I remember.
Yeah. What are Nick Taylor's first round odds? Because someone said, what about Nick Taylor? Nick Taylor's 80 to 1. That could be a first round leader play for me with Nick Taylor. I bet Nick Taylor to win this tournament. I bet him top 8. Maybe I'll bet him first round leader, and I'm using him in daily fantasy. So, Daniel, there's your answer on Nick Taylor if you really wanted to know it. That's it. Major season is basically over, Tambo. Good luck. I hope you win millions and millions of dollars this week.
Me too. My ultimate goal of all time is to win 2 Millie Makers for my first ever Millie Maker win. So I'm definitely putting whatever lineups in the mega into the main, and I want to win both, even though lineup selection wise, not the best because you're a 750 person field versus the other. So it's not really the best case, but because I want that to happen, I'm just going to FOMO it that way and try and win 2 Millie Makers before I ever win one.
FantasyNational.com/Mayo gets you 20% off right now. I'm telling you, if you don't have a Fantasy National sub, go get it right now and lock in that price is all I'll tell you. Big news coming next week. Great news for anyone who's a member of Fantasy National as well. What do you got going on? I'm going to go live later tonight on Mayo Media Network. So turn on your notifications here. I'll be answering more questions, and I'll see if Feinberg's around or someone to jump on with me, or hell, I'll just rapid fire some questions if you got them. My newsletter comes out later. Are you going live later?
I'm not. Our boy GS Luke will be going live, like you talked about
Luke,
earlier, which is awesome because Luke always has the details in the news late Wednesday evening. And our focus right now, you talked about major season's coming to an end, but football season is coming back. So I will plug this real quick. Just shipitnation.com. It's the banner at the top. You can't miss it. And it comes with a lot. You get free all access for the rest of the summer. So right up till football comes back, you'll be able to get all our sports, the Discord, who people were talking about earlier, the education courses, all that and more. It does come with a free 8-hour NFL DFS Mastermind course. It's the best of the best, 8 hours worth of premium content built into one easy course that you can check out. My optimizer process, all that and more. And then you also get college football included. And then we have a mystery bonus. You have a big announcement. We have a big announcement coming up on August 6th. Mark your calendar. It's going to be very big. I think the biggest contest ever put on in the entire DFS industry. So it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for that. And Ship It Nation is going to be doing a lot come football season.
Colby says, what's the wind split? Rewind to 147 of the show where we break down what the wind is looking like. And even in the DraftKings picks as we go through it, we talk about all of the weather splits at the same time. I will add the time codes to this show in about 5 minutes when this show ends, now that I have them all, and I can get them entered into the system. You can always catch the show on demand on Mayo Media Network. In the comment section in about 1 minute when this show ends, put in your favorite 5K guy, put in your favorite first round leader to get into the draw for the free PXG driver. If you sub to Apple and Spotify, Pat Mayo experience as well, you can get in that way, get 3 ballots in the draw and go through it all. All right. And share the show around would really help us out. Okay. Good luck at the Open. Win lots of money. Can't wait to hear about it. I'll see you next time.